Hey everyone, this is Chef. Welcome back to Uma. The plan for today was going to be to finish up our last little bit of work on team trials, but I lost track of time and Aquarius starts tomorrow. So we should probably get started on what our CM10 plan is going to be. Now, on the bright side, we're kind of forced into having a plan. We only have 3 runners that are really capable of running on dirt without significant spark investments. We have Haru, who is Mile B and B but Dirt A. We have El Condor Pasa, who's Dirt B. And then we also have Taiki Shuttle, who's Dirt B. So we can make this work, but it does mean that we're basically forced into running a single pace double late comp for this CM. We could potentially try doing something like End Closer Haru if we really wanted to, and we'll get into some of like what the track map looks like, but that's roughly going to be the plan in terms of the specific runners that we're going to use, because we just don't have a lot of options anywhere else. Most of these other trainees are like Dirt E at best, and the amount of sparks that it would take to bring them up in terms of what we would get out of having them actually be able to do the CM is not really that important. So when we're preparing for a CM, the first thing that we always do is we check the track map. So we're going to pull the track map up now, and we're going to see what we can learn about this CM. Alright, so we're over on KachiDev, the new emulator that I've been working on using, and this is the track map that we have for Tokyo Dirt 1600. So first thing to take note of is length and conditions. This is a 1600 meter mile. It is not a super long mile. Miles go all the way up to 1800. It is a firm ground. It is in the winter, and it is a left-handed course. So if you're thinking about things like groundwork, those are potentially things that you would want to pay attention to. The first thing that we want to try and figure out is what our stamina cap is. And one of the nice things that Kachi does that Umulator didn't do is it actually just tells you survival rate for your runner when you plug them in. So here we're at 600 stamina, they're running as a pace chaser. That gives us a 100% survival rate. If we drop down to 550, we run it again, we're still at 100. If we drop down to 500, run it again. Now we're starting to miss out on spurt rate. So the stamina cap for the track should be somewhere around 550 or so. However, this track has stat thresholds, and it has a stat threshold for stamina at 600. It's also, in practice, pretty difficult to miss a stamina cap of 600 for a mile. That's usually just inheriting on stamina sparks and not even bringing a stamina card. So we're going to aim for something like 600, just in case of debuffers here and there, just in case of rushed here and there, and other kinds of things that can just get in the way of trying to finish the race successfully. The other thing that we want to look at is we want to look at where late race starts. Because where late race starts is your biggest determinant for what uniques are going to be good. And in this case, late race starts on a corner. It starts in corner 4, but there is also a straight very soon into late race. So what that means is that if we're a front and we're using angling and scheming will trigger. It is possible for that skill to go off, or at least it should be possible for that skill to go off. I'm not sure why yeah, there we go. It shows up right here. Here's our angling and scheming activation right when final leg kicks in. But it also means that for something like an end closer, skills like straightaway spurt will also work, because we have a straight fairly soon into late race that we can get acceleration off of. You can see its activation right here as soon as that straight kicks in. And then the last thing to pay attention to on this track specifically is this uphill in late race. This is a big section of uphill on the track. And uphill and downhill sections in Uma do different things. So if we go over to the mechanics wiki, this is our section on uphills and downhills. When a trainee is running uphill, you lose speed equal to 200 divided by your power stat. So the higher your power is, the less speed that you lose when you're on an uphill. And then when you're running downhill, you have a chance to recover stamina. This is the reason why in the last CM, if we look at the track for CM9, you could ignore a lot of normal stamina thresholds for a 1200 meter sprint, because fully 70% of the track was a downhill, and you were recovering stamina that whole time. So when we look at Aquarius, we know that we are locked into using either Pace or late El Condor Pasa. We know that we are locked into using Pace Taiki Shuttle, and we know that we are locked into using late Surger or end closer Haru, because those are our only 3 dirt trainees. Let's talk about Taiki first, because the idea for Taiki is going to be to try and hit this very narrow activation window for her unique. Shooting for victory requires us to be in the later half of the final corner, on any corner, when our order is 3rd or better, and we're in the top 40%. Sorry, 3rd or worse, and we're in the top 40%. So we need to be 3rd, 4th, or 5th when we get to this point in corner 4, and we need to execute our pass somewhere in this range so that we have acceleration carryover that takes us into the final leg. That is going to be a very tall ask. There isn't really a lot that we can do to fix it or alter it. We're just going to have to be crossing our fingers that Taiki hits her acceleration at the proper time. The second runner that we're going to have is L. So if we plug her in, we're looking at Victoria per plancha, and this is going to be a very similar strategy to CM9, where we were looking to have that unique go off when we were 1st place or 2nd place at the late race transition, because it's both velocity and acceleration. In this case, we're not getting the velocity carryover, because the straight starts in the final leg of the race, so there is no velocity to carry over. But our plan would be for L to be 1st or 2nd by the time we hit this late race transition, which is a little tricky because L can't be a front runner without some pretty significant spark investment. And then if we look at Haru, Haru doesn't really have a unique that is good for a mile. It's a recovery unique, and we've already talked about the fact that the stamina threshold for this track is very low. So for Haru, we would either be looking at building a late surger, using things like On Your Left and also Furious Feet to give her the late race acceleration that she needs, or we would be looking to make her an end closer, and we would give her something like Straightaway Spurt in order to give her the acceleration that she needs. I'm not entirely sure what direction I want to go on that yet, but I think for now, our best option, not really our best option, but our easiest option, is probably just trying to build Taiki, because Taiki's build here is going to be remarkably straightforward. There are no real conditions we have to worry about for her unique. There are no special build considerations that we need to make for her. We're just trying to build a Taiki that is a pace chaser and goes very fast. So we're going to pop over to Umamusume, and we're going to find ourselves a parent that is going to work well for those goals. Alright, so we're back on Umamusume. Taiki Shuttle is going to be our main trainee. And then as far as blue sparks, we're looking for power. And for pink sparks, we're looking for dirt. This is fairly non-negotiable as far as this CM is concerned. Power is your highest priority stat after your stamina is done, because it's going to allow you to survive the uphill at the end of the race. And then dirt, if you can get it to S, is going to give you dirt S, which increases your power even further. My suspicion, when I'm looking at this track map, is that most of the winners are going to be decided by who preserves the most speed in this uphill section of the course. This is fully half of late race. And if your power is not high enough to make it up that uphill, it doesn't matter how much faster you go in the back half of the track, I don't think you're going to catch up to people who have more power. So we are going to be looking to prioritize as much power and dirt sparks as we can, aiming for 1200 power if possible and dirt S. As far as options that we have a few that have pretty decent affinity. We have this L, which does have a unique that we want. We also wouldn't mind Triumphant Pulse. So I think this honestly looks like a fine option. As nice as it would be to find something with Head On or something like that, I didn't really see many great options when I was scrolling through here. And so I think we're probably just going to end up taking this L to maximize our affinity overall. So we're going to copy that trainer ID, and we're going to pull it back into game. We're also going to turn game audio back on. Did I ever turn it off? Who knows? So we'll go plug this in. I try to turn the background audio off when I'm working and stuff outside of the tabs because I find it to be distracting. But maybe we forgot this time. So we're gonna grab this L, and then we are going to go ahead and jump into trying to set up this ace run. So we'll head over to career. We will take Taiki Shuttle. For our first legacy, we don't really need to worry about anything. Dirt Sparks would be fine if we have them. Mile Sparks would be fine if we have them. I'll even take Pace Sparks if we have them. Our only option is this Haru that's 2 power, 2 mile. And then we get 1 wit, 3 mile, 3 power, 2 end. I don't really need that, but it is 5 power sparks, which is pretty nice. It gives us hints for mile corners, Unity Cup, that's nice. More Unity Cup, that's nice. Even though the aptitude or the affinity of Haru is pretty bad, I actually think it might be worth using in this case. And then if we come over here to guests, we sort by affinity bonus, and then we plug in our sparks. We're looking for any of these at 2, and then we're looking for dirt at 2 as well specifically. Here's that El Condor Pasa that we grabbed. So we are inheriting nothing but power, which means we are probably going to need to bring 1 stamina card. But I think this is a good opportunity for Rico to make an appearance as our pseudo stamina card. So we'll run something like this. We do not need Teo here. Teo is not going to be coming in this deck, and in fact, I don't even think we need 3 speed cards. Because if we go back and look at Taiki, she's 20% speed, 10% wit. I think that Tosin Jordan and Kita-san together may be good enough to run a 2 speed card deck. Which means that we can do something like this. Looking for our PAL cards and grabbing Rico. And then we can do something like this. We can grab either a power card, and I'm not sure I have any great options for power Pace Chasers. We get Umastan off of King Halo, but I don't think Umastan is amazing on Pace Chasers. And there's not really anything else on that card's kit that we're super interested in. Or we could just run another wit card. And in this case, it would probably be either Arden or Matikane. It is a Sunday today, and I think I have enough time for 2 runs, so we're going to try both. We're going to try this approach using King Halo, and then after that run, we're going to try a second approach, and that's going to be using probably Arden, just because Arden has really nice Pace Chaser hints. I love Pace Chaser Savvy. I would love Pace Chaser Corners. I think getting either of those would be fine. But let's try this first, see how it goes, evaluate where our speed is. If we only get to around 1100 speed or so, I actually think that's totally fine. And then we'll try a second version of the deck that runs 3 wit cards. That should help push our speed even higher, but it might come at the cost of a little bit of power, which I think is going to be a slightly higher priority for this CM. Let's go ahead and get started and see how this goes. $78 power. Very nice. 1103. We'll just take friendship out of that. We are going to have to train a little bit of stamina here and there to get to around 600. That's another 3 friendship training. Yeah, I'll take it again. We can't neglect stamina entirely, especially if we are not inheriting stamina. So we will need to train it here and there. That's 2 friendship, 1 spirit training. I think that's probably still the best training available. It is. Alright, we'll do that again. This seems a-okay so far. I would love to get 10 energy in 1 mood right now. That is a great time for that to show up early. 1 on power, 1 on speed, 1 on stam. Where are my support cards? Nobody's here. We could recreate this turn, but I think I'm going to trust my deck to figure it out and just take a wit training. Getting fine motion online early would be nice. 1 spirit training, 1 friendship, 1 spirit, 1 friendship, 2 spirit, 2 friendship. We'll go ahead and take speed. Also does a decent job of building our power. We'll get a little energy refund out of it in exchange. One friendship, one spirit training. That's an okay wit. There's no spirit trainings anywhere else, so we'll just conserve the energy. Frontrunner straightaways, not something we're going to be using here. Speed, stam, or wit and skill points. I really do want skill points here because there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be interested in buying. But it is fewer stats overall. You know what? I'll take the speed and stamina here just to figure out where we wind up on our stat benchmarks. I think those are very close options, though. 1 and 1, 1 and 1. Functionally 1 and 1. None of these trainings are anything, so we'll just take wit. Cloudy days. Is it cloudy? No, it's sunny. Yeah, weather is sunny for CM10, so we will not need cloudy days. It's an okay stamina training. It's actually the best training available, and we can still train safely next turn, so I don't mind continuing to build friendship here. One and one, 1 and 1, 1 and 1. Man, we have not had good training so far, huh? I kind of want to, like, all of these are bad. I could just rest here, honestly. Like, this is not a wit training worth taking. This is only 11 stats. I'm just going to rest and get all of my energy back. Getting plus 30 is fine there. Like, it doesn't even matter. 1 and 1. These are all 1. So this is better for spirit training. This is better for friendship training. I think I would rather have the spirit training early, especially because it has not been showing up that much yet. I would like to prioritize the spirit trainings that I can get access to. That is a pretty good wit. I think it's better than that stamina for sure, and it's definitely better than that speed. Yeah, we'll just continue building friendship here. We'll continue getting a small pittance of spirit training. We'll get an insanely early Rico unlock. Very happy to see that. And then we'll go into debut. I don't think we should have anything to buy here, so we'll just go right into race. This is, our debut is on the CM track. This is Tokyo Dirt 1600 left. So being able to win the debut is a good sign. And then we're right back into it. This is our Umamusume hint, so we'll happily take that. I don't necessarily know that we need to buy it right now. It's an okay speed. Yeah, it's just the best training we have available. It's not good, but it's the best we can do right now. It also puts Kita-san to gold, so at least if we have like marginal speed trainings in the future, we can just take them. We have no need to gamble on mood right now, so we'll just take our bottom option. That is not a rainbow worth taking. These aren't any trainings worth taking. We'll preserve energy on wit, because there is a spirit training there, but I'm not super happy about it. Take 10 energy out of Sunday. 1 spirit training, 2 spirit trainings. They said it couldn't be 2 trainings with 2 spirit trainings. This is probably a better power training than a speed. Well, this gets Fine Motion's friendship up, and I do want my wit cards online early. But this gets Marvelous Sunday up. I should probably take this one because Tosin Jordan and Marvelous Sunday are closer to bursting, and there's also just more supports here, which means we're getting more stats out of it. It's okay. It's also okay. Would I gamble on a 7% training? If we're doing an ace run, I think I would, yeah. And then this needs to be a rest immediately afterwards. Passing up on a fairly good speed training. And not a whole lot of anything else. We're actually a little low on energy here. Give me a full rest. I think I would much rather have 50 energy back than just 30 or whatever. Holy cow, we have good trainings now. Good trainings have been invented. That's Tosin Jordan and Marvelous Sunday to burst. Should switch over to our agenda to keep an eye on races that are coming up. Do we want Nimble Navigator? So in terms of thinking about the meta for Aquarius, right now it feels like the meta is leaning towards frontrunners and pace chasers, which means it should be possible to trigger No Stopping Me. Mile Maven hints would be nice, but Taiki's already potential 5 for us, which means all it would do is make Mile Maven cheaper, whereas Team Carrot unlocks the ability to purchase No Stopping Me in the first place. So I think Team Carrot is probably going to be our better naming option here. And then also, given that we have Rico unlocked and we can just fix mood no matter what, we can take a -1 mood out of King Halo. It's a shame that didn't show up 1 turn earlier, but it is what it is. I don't think bursting on wit is what we want to be doing here. I think we want to be bursting on speed and power. But I also don't really want to take the speed training because there's no spirit trainings on it. So we're going to burst on wit even though it's not my preference, because this is going to do a better job of building our spirit trainings and continuing to give us inertia in the run going forwards. Bursting on wit is rarely the place where I actually want to spend a burst, but it's also rarely bad as well. Prepared to Pass increasing our ability to break out on the final corner is good, because the final corner is still mid-race. This is the kind of velocity increase that's going to let Taiki get into position to actually activate her unique. So I think we're pretty interested in getting that as a skill hint, even at the cost of 10 power, because I don't think it's something that she starts with. We want to make sure that's something that we can buy. That's 2 spirit trainings, 1 spirit training, 1 spirit training, no spirit trainings, and a burst in a place that we don't want to spend it. It does build friendship, but this is Rico, which means it's a discounted energy training, and it also gets Marvelous Sunday to gold, which I do like. So I think I take this power instead, and we try and get our burst to line up somewhere that is more likely to be useful. This moves our mood back to great. Power training up to level 2. I don't see any good trainings here at all. Well, the wit training's okay, actually. It's a good wit training, even if there's no spirit training associated with it. An okay wit training. It's a good power training, bad stamina training, bad guts training. I'm fine taking this power. And then I think what we do for our last 2 turns is we run the Mile G1 early December if our trainings are bad. Is that a bad training? I don't think it's a good training. I do like the idea of getting Tosin Jordan to gold, but I don't think I need to do it now. We're definitely not taking that. We're not taking that, although it's okay. Not at 17% anyway. I think our plan here is just run a G1 so we get a few extra skill points, and then Rico on the last turn. So let's do that. We probably need to run 3 or 4 extra races outside of our schedule, if I had to guess. Just to get our skill points to where we want them to be. We'll gamble on this because we're Ricoing next turn. We're passing up on a single rainbow speed that would put Tosin to gold, an okay stam, a pretty bad power. Yeah, a bunch of nothing trainings except for the rainbow on speed. So we'll just Rico this turn to patch up our energy a bit, and then we'll get another plus 20 at the start of Classic Year, and then we'll be able to go back to training like nothing happened. I do not feel good about this Unity Cup round. We're at 18 trainings, 1 Spirit Burst. I think that our team is not that strong. We have an E on Dirt, a D on Medium, and us on Sprint. So we're doing okay, but like Mile is extremely weak. Long is extremely weak. So if any of our 3 win columns are a draw, and then our weak columns are 2 losses, we're in serious trouble. So I think we're going to start with middle option this time. and then we'll take top option every subsequent round. We'll hope that we can build on our Unity Cup trainings a little bit more as we get deeper into the run, because they haven't been great so far. We run another race early January, but let's grab 20 energy. We'll get a little extra stamina and guts out of Rico being here. Go directly into a race. Good. And then let's plan in our couple extra G1s that we're going to run this year. I'm looking at Okasho right here. Looking at Sprinter Stakes here. And I'm looking at like Champions Cup here. And then maybe if we need to slide some things around, we could also run the JBC Sprint here. And if we canceled one of these 4 scheduled races, I would be okay with that. Burst on stamina is not where I want to spend stamina, but that's a really efficient training. Oh, it's good power training too, though. Oh, it's good guts training too, though. Okay, I'm not going to burst on stamina. I know that this is good for friendship training, and it's extremely efficient in terms of stats per energy that we're spending, but I don't think I'm going to need it. This is marginally, well, yeah, you know what, this guts training is probably better. So we're getting 12 power out of this, we're only getting 5 power out of this, but I like building Fine Motion's friendship, and Fine Motion and Rice Shower are also closer to Burst right now, and this is the same number of spirit trainings. So I'm going to take the guts, as weird as that might look. And then I would love to get 5 energy back. Not nearly as good of a guts training. Interesting to take just to roll energy if nothing else is good, and nothing else really is good. So let's take a King Halo hint that also builds friendship and restores a little energy. Outer Post proficiency, I can't imagine buying that. Let's take another 5 energy though. Rainbow Power with 2 spirit trainings. 1 spirit training on guts, 1 spirit training on speed. A burst on wit. We don't really want to do that. This looks like a fine power training. So power feels great so far. Stamina, or speed does not. 250 speed is a little scary, but 340 power feels very nice right now. That's 1 spirit training on speed, 1 on power. Tosin Jordan to gold on stamina. But this is good energy recovery, and it's building Fine Motion's friendship on wit, so we can take that. I think we need to aggressively burst on speed right now. It's an okay wit training. It's a worse speed training. We're not bursting on guts. This puts Fine Motion to gold, which is very nice. So let's take this wit training, and then let's see how our inheritance goes. There aren't really a ton of white sparks that we're fishing for here. We're not looking to inherit anything like head-on or anything like that. We're just trying to build a stats mountain and closer. I'm not sure that's going to be super useful. It's another insane stamina training, but I don't care about stamina. That's not where I need to spend my bursts. This is an okay guts training, but I don't want to spend my bursts there either. So this actually seems like a fine turn to just take off and run the Oko show. Continue building our stats. Speed is a little scary here, but power is super high. So hopefully our acceleration can just carry us at the end of these races. -5. Oh, that's big. It means we can train this turn. Okay wit training. Bad power training. Good stamina training, but I just don't care about stamina, man. I don't think I need it. I might regret this later, if it turns out that we're only at like 500 stamina, you know? You would want to aim to be at like 400 stamina by the end of Classic. And then 500 by the end of senior. Maybe you do take the stamina training. You know what? Sure. Get Toast and Jordan to gold. Extra tank is not something we're going to be buying. Plus 10 energy is something we would love to have right now. If we hit like a double rainbow whip, we don't even have to take a rest off of that. Second is fine. It's kind of expected with how low our speed is right now. It's really something that we need to patch up here relatively soon. It would be a good training to do it. Do I trust myself to win a 12%? Yeah, I think I do. It's an ace run. Huge. Okay, we need to take a full rest this turn. Rico is not enough. And we would also really like to hit plus 70. We're missing out on a single rainbow speed. An okay wit for preserving energy, but we're not in energy preservation mode right now, and no other good trainings. We're very happy to take a rest here. Plus 70 is amazing. Amazing. Exactly what we were looking for. I don't think we have anything we necessarily need to buy right now. Yeah, we can skip that. Let's hop into a G3. Good. And then summer break, we need to train speed. We have both of our speed cards online right now, so it's possible for us to get double rainbows. Also, standard distance is actually... Well, no, because we want to hit 600 stamina for the speed bonus. I was going to say we could pick up standard distance, because it is a standard distance track. Nishino Flower can come down here to sprint. And then who can come down to mile? Mile G, mile E, mile G. You might be stuck there, Matikane. So our medium team is great. Mile and long are okay. We're probably alright on sprint. We have to take top option anyway, but just for the sake of checking, we're at 28 trainings and still only 1 burst because they keep showing up on stamina. Kazuna thinks our team is buns. I respectfully disagree. I don't think it's good, but I think it's better than that. It is. Need some big speed trainings to show up here summer break. I want at least 2 double rainbows. Not a good start. We can take wit though. Again, I'm not bursting on stamina. Right-handed? It is a left-handed track, so that is not useful for us. Single rainbow speed, I'll still take. I'm not going to be too choosy about it. Single rainbow speed, I'll still take. I'm not going to be too choosy about it. So far, so good. And then burst on power versus double rainbow wit to get like 50 stats. I really like that. And that manages our energy. That is a good summer break. Good summer break. Into the back half now. Single rainbow wit. Not really a lot of anything going on here. I'm almost tempted to take this stamina because Etsuko is there and it puts Inari 1 to burst and it builds King Halo. The longer this run goes, the more I'm convinced that our stamina is lagging behind just a little bit, so let's try and patch it up. We have potential for a race today. We have single rainbow wit. That's not amazing. We have a good guts training, but I'm not going to take guts. A burst on power. We don't care. We don't care about that stamina. We don't care about that speed. We should probably, like, Rico today. Yeah, you know what? You have a decent race schedule set up for the rest of the year. Take your Rico today. Rebuild your energy, and then if you see a good training early October, you can take it. Otherwise, your energy is going to be critically low. A burst on speed. I don't hate that. It's a lot of spirit training associated with it too. Like, it's not a good training. There's nobody here except for Rico. But I think I'm okay to take it. This also does put fine motion to burst, and it recovers energy a bit more. Like, if we take this speed training, we probably can't train next turn. So let's take wit instead. Let's see if we can get a better speed training to spend energy on. What about just a better wit training? It's fine for stats. And then we would really like to do this race gauntlet. We might skip Champions Cup because I don't want to run 3 races in a row if I don't have to. I'd love 18 stamina right now. I don't want to run 3 races in a row if I don't have to. But burst on wit, I don't really care about that. It's a rainbow power. I don't really care about that. I don't care about any of these. So I think we can run a race today. Keep our skill points coming in. +5 speed is nice. A win is nice. That's our fan threshold sorted. Etsuko friendship is also nice. Go to Mile Championship. Good. That's definitely fan threshold sorted. And then we will probably cancel Champions Cup. I do not feel compelled to run 3 races in a row. There's Mile G ones that we can do at the start of next year as well. Single Rainbow Wit, not super impressive. Single Spirit Training Stamina, not really impressive. Double Spirit Training Speed, not super impressive. I think we can just preserve energy here. It would be really nice to race Champions Cup here, but I'm not going to gamble on 3 races in a row. And then getting like skin condition, I think that would be very bad. I would love to take 20 stamina out of that. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Give me that speed training. Yes, sir. Prepared to pass is a good hint. Pace Chaser Corners is a good hint. Hesitant Frontrunners is a fairly good hint. We're expecting Frontrunners to be in this CM. We're not going to go as heavy on Hesitant Front, Hesitant Pace as we did in the last CM, because I don't think it was as good as I thought it was. But it is a nice hint to have in our back pocket. We have C's across the board, except for Miles, but we're still locked into taking top option, so it doesn't really matter how strong our team is. This is the option we must take if we want to try and maximize our stats at the end of the run. We will not be maximizing our stats at the end of the run. But that is not fatal to an ace run. It's inconvenient, but it is not fatal. We'll take 30 energy out of this. Single rainbow. Double rainbow wit is really enticing right now, but we should have energy coming back from the raffle in January. I also don't feel like I have to burst on power right now. We're already at 547. That's actually kind of an interesting spirit training option on stamina. It puts King Halo to burst. It does keep building our stamina up, because I think we're going to wind up short of 600 by the end of the run. Let's book a couple G1s in really quick, just so I can keep an eye on where they are. I think we do like this, this, and then maybe this. And if we ran all of those, that would be great. And then I actually think I'd take that stamina training. We'll put King Halo to burst. It keeps working on spirit training so that we're building our Unity Cup team. Bushel of Carrots is great. 20 energy in my pocket. Single rainbow speed, but with a burst there. We need that right now. And then this is looking like a Rico next turn, unless we have a good rainbow whip. We'll see. Oh my god. No, it's looking like a speed. This is going to be the third 10% training we've gambled on this run. Eventually we're going to stop getting lucky, but I think this is a training that's too good to pass up. It does everything we need right now. That's massive. That's so good. Okay. All right. We should take a full rest this turn instead of doing the February stakes. Because if we see a good training early March, we're going to be really sad that we can't take it. Well, it does mean I'd like to find another G1 to run. But I don't think there are any. So we might want to look at like some G2s. Maybe we run like the Fuji stakes. Single Rainbow Wit seems really good for energy preservation right now. The rest of these trainings are all quite bad. So let's just do a little bit of spirit training that also preserves energy. Random special weak jump scare giving us 10 stamina. Don't hate it. Random single rainbow on speed. Don't hate it. 400 stamina right now. Rico's going to get us to 500. We're going to need to train stamina just a little bit more. I don't think this is a training worth taking, but we are going to need to train it a few more times. This seems like a fine speed, though. It gets Haru a little closer to burst. The wit was not very good. We can still train safely next turn. I think we're fine to spend energy on that. Unity Cup Spark is great. 107 power. Yes. Yes. Single rainbow speed? Yes. I think I do take that. It puts Haru to burst. I like that. And then we can Rico after this turn, because we do still need to make it through her chain. We're passing up on... actually, like a really good power training. But I don't think I need that. I wouldn't mind taking that burst on stamina if I was at full energy, but I'm not. So let's take a Rico. Just do a little bit of energy rebuilding. If we want to skip the Victoria Mile, we can, but we'd need a pretty good training to justify doing it. That's so much spirit training on power, but I don't think that's good enough to justify it. That's also not a bad burst on wit, but I don't really want to burst on wit right now. I want to get speed and power higher. So let's run a race. We're really hoping to hit -5 after this on the gamble. Good. Show me -5. Show me plus power and then -5 energy. Stamina and -20? It's close-ish. And then we're missing out on a single rainbow speed. We're missing out on a hyper-efficient stamina training. And not a whole lot else. Give me a full rest. That's a perfect time to get +70. Run the Yasudakinen. This is a really strong Taiki Shuttle, by the way. Like, really, really strong? Okay. And then one more training before summer break. I think that's a good enough speed training to spend energy on right now. We get 2 spirit trainings out of it. It doesn't tank our energy that badly. Let's take that. We also have fine motions training effectiveness there. Unity Cup team is looking not great. I would really like to see a few Bs at this point, and I do not see Bs in here. But it's the best we have to work with right now, so let's go to rank 12. Oh, man. Zenith is going to be uphill. But a win is a win, so at least we get stats out of this. +5 to everything. And then summer break me. A burst on stamina. No. So I read something really interesting earlier today that I hadn't really thought of at all. Spring break is, or summer break is all about energy management, because you have 4 turns where all of your facilities are leveled to 5. Bursts cost you extra energy, but they don't give you more stats based on what level the facility is, which means you actually want to try and avoid bursting in summer break because it wastes energy for no reason. And I hadn't really thought about that until I read it, and then it made sense. So I think we're going to go for energy conversion, or energy conservation here. This is not a good enough power training to bother taking. There's only one rainbow here, and no other support cards. There's nothing on the speed training. We're not taking stamina because it's a burst, and I don't think this is worth the energy cost right now. So we're just going to take Whip, preserve energy, and hope for better trainings next turn. And then if we need to, we can burst on stamina down here. Burst on Wit, on the other hand, is always energy recovery, which is a much more interesting prospect. But it's also not really where I want to spend a burst right now. So we're going to take a Rainbow Power, so that we can allocate that burst to a better stat later on. We don't want to burst on Speed, although I didn't know we have 2 bursts available right now, so I might just take this Wit training anyway for the sake of energy management. And then I would love to see a Rainbow Speed training. Any Rainbow Speed training at all. Thank you. It's also an okay power. It's also a really nice Wit, but I need that speed to get higher, and I need it to bring power up with it. So now we're looking to burst on speed. Maybe once. Oh my god, we get plus 30 energy out of this. That's so good. Oh, that's huge. This is the run, man. This is the run. This is just another Rainbow Speed. Because we can still train safely next turn. Guts 15 versus a Corner Adaptant. I don't need Guts. I'll just take the Corner Adaptant if that's okay. We are still 75 stamina short of where I would like to be, though. So I think we may need to spend a few bursts on that. Maybe, like, 1. We may also just say that, you know what, it's okay that we don't get to 550 stamina. We'll just take, like, 1 recovery. Plus 10 energy, plus 1 mood. Yeah, I'd love that. We could also take standard distance. And that would help shore up stamina. You have to take the double rainbow on speed. Even though that power training is great, this is statistically... well, not quite. In terms of the speed cards that we have, this is statistically the best speed training we can get. So we're going to take that. This probably means we cancel the Fuji stakes so that we can Rico. Not taking that. Not taking that. Not bursting on Guts. Give me a Rico, because we would like to finish that event chain. It's worth another 30 stamina. Good. Stam is fine. That's another statistically incredible speed training. So give me that. Ignited Spirit speed is fine. Power would have been better, but I don't really think my plan is to buy either of those. Okay. And then I might even cancel the Mile Champion, or the Champions Cup. Because I'd really like to do my last Rico charge this turn, and then train like Wit late December. Plus 10 energy, please. Single. Oh, it's a double rainbow Wit, though. So we could do this Wit training, and then we could Rico. Yeah, I don't mind that either. I don't think that skill points are as important as just building stats. So if we have the option to build good stats on a training, we should probably take... It's another double rainbow, though. You should probably just take this, too. And then find a time to Rico in the last 3 turns. Yeah, sure. Sure, man. Alright, Zenith might be a little dubious. We have a few B rank runners. We are currently at 62 Unity trainings and only 6 bursts. So we're definitely under our preferred number of Spirit bursts, but our Spirit trainings have been fine. I cannot believe we won that. Okay. Alright. It's all coming together. Now if we could get Team Rank S and get It's On as well. This looks like such a good turn to use up our last Rico charge. I see no rainbows anywhere. I'm not worried about stamina at all. Stamina's going to be A-okay. We're not going to hit 601 to get the speed boost on the track, but we're going to have enough to finish. Good. That said, if I see a Spirit Burst on stamina, I'd probably take it. If I see one on stamina and not on speed, I would almost certainly take it. 2, 1... Nikita-san hint? That's not super important right now. What is this turn? This turn is bad, is what it is. We definitely want to train a stat. We don't need to preserve energy. This is 21 total stats. This is 21 total stats. This is 32 total stats. We should probably just take the speed then. It's giving us the most numbers. I think we actually might want a third speed card instead of King Halo, honestly. Just skip the wit card entirely, because our wit is fine. We're going to wind up at like 750 wit. I don't need to be higher than that. I want to be at speed cap though. Also, the wheels have fallen off for our last 3 trainings. We'll just take the stamina to get it over 500. And then how much does standard distance give us? We'll go pop open game Torah quick. Just to make sure we're getting our calculation right. We look up standard distance. I know you can't see this. It's okay. I have it open on another screen. It is 40 stamina. And we previously determined that 550 was good enough to finish. I believe. Yes, 550 stamina is good enough to finish the CM track, in the absence of debuffers. So if we buy standard distance, our stamina will be A-okay. And for no stopping me. Another +5. We did not hit Team Rank S, which means we're not getting It's On, but there is a lot to like in here right now. Is Victoria per plancha worth getting? Maybe. Come back to it and see how you feel. We never got Curvature, but Corner Adept is good. No stopping me we want. Prepared to Pass is very good. Mile Maven I think we can skip, because I don't really care about my velocity early race. Changing gears, though, I probably do want, because I want the mid-race velocity. Pace Chaser Corners I want the mid-race velocity, Umastan I want, Playtime's Over I want. And then we have 275 left over. So we can get Standard Distance and Victoria por plancha. And that's about it. Am I missing out on anything that's high priority? I don't think so. Updrafters won't trigger because we're not going to be late race. Hesitant Frontrunner I don't think is as important as an acceleration unique and standard distance. Mile straightaways, same argument. I don't really think I need it. Yeah, I think we just do Victoria por plancha. And then we do standard distance. And where do you wind up? 1,000, 550, 924, 404, 721. I don't think it's the right deck, but it's a good runner. 11,200. 1 speed, 2 mile, triple nimble navigator, triple playtimes over. Unfortunately, the blue is not good enough. So for now, you're going to be our first ace candidate. And we also need to go and clean out the old aces. So we'll go and do that as well. We wouldn't want to get confused when we're in there trying to figure out who we're supposed to be running. Filter me on handshakes. We didn't even use our handshakes appropriately. There's no air groove in here, and air groove was one of our runners for the last CM. So you are no longer handshake. You are no longer handshake. And you are no longer handshake. This is our current ace candidate, but I think there's room for improvement. So let's run it back. The biggest change that I want to make is 3 speed cards. I was thinking maybe 2 speed, 1 Rico, 3 wit. I don't like that I didn't get to speed cap. And also an extra speed card will do more to help us train power. So what options do we have here? We have Vodka, who has mile hints. We have Sweet Tosho, who's just good in general. We don't really have anything else. It's a Vodka versus Sweet Tosho situation, in my opinion. So here, we're working with 25 friendship bonus, 50 mood effect, 5 training effectiveness, only 35 specialty priority. Here, we're at 38 specialty priority, slightly higher friendship bonus, slightly lower mood effect, very slightly higher training effectiveness. Vodka is still a better SR speed card than Sweet Tosho is at our current level of uncaps. But also, let's make this swap quick so that all of our speed cards are actually in the same row. And then we'll get Rico back in. I think this might be the deck. I think previously we thought that it was the deck and it wasn't the deck, but I think this might be the deck. Let's run it back and see how we do. We also missed out on Speed Star on that run. We missed out on Curvature on that run. We missed out on several fairly important skills. And we also learned that we probably need to burst on stamina like twice in order to get to our cap. So for our first 2 turns, let's just go ahead and build friendship wherever we can find it. I think 2 friendship training progress is better than a recreate. So we'll take that. It's okay, I don't need an explanation. 2 friendship and a spirit training, 1 friendship, 1 friendship. That power training is fine. A-okay to take. Would love to take speed and wit, probably. I think our inheritance is going to get us there on power. Spirit training on wit. Spirit training on stamina at 5% to fail. I wouldn't mind taking a recreate here and just seeing if we can bump our energy up a little more so our trainings are safer next time. We cannot. It was a gamble and we lost. It's a good guts training too. Oh, I want to take that so bad, but 9% failure is a little sketchy. Try it. Okay. This forces us to rest. The wit training is pretty good. If we hadn't trained last turn, we'd probably take it, but this needs to be a rest. 1 and 1. 2 and 0. I would rather just save energy. Save energy, take the spirit training, wait for something better next turn. We don't need to gamble on wit. Well, we could gamble on wit, actually. Or on mood, I mean. Because we have a guaranteed mood up coming down here, and we also have, like, Rico's chain that could still fire. We still have Kita-san events that could fire. Yeah, I'll gamble on it. It's okay. That issue will fix itself. Not a good guts training, even though there's a spirit training there and a hint. I think we just take wit here to preserve energy. Good power training. Definitely take that for the spirit training options. This, I still think, is a speed and stamina angle. The skill points we can find in other places, and we didn't cap speed last time, and we were short on stamina last time. So I think we need to prioritize that. This is marginally more spirit trainings, this is marginally more friendship progress, but also I know that we need to build our speed relatively early and that our power will be okay, so we'll take the speed option. It's slightly costing us on spirit trainings. Oh, this is our free mood up, so we'll take that. That fixes one problem for us. And then we just get to take a good speed training. Yeah, nothing else really going on. This is going to force us to rest again, though. So resting, like, twice functionally before your debut, not super ideal. But also sometimes when you have good trainings, you just don't really have another option. And I think in this case, most of the trainings that we spent our energy on were worth taking in the first place. Except for maybe, like, one of them. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I would love to take 30 energy right now. Are you joking me? That's so good. One spirit training, but 2 friendships. It's better than everything else around it. Let's get some friendship out of that. Medium corners is not useful to me. As a great wit training. I don't think there's going to be anything even close to that, so let's just jump on that. Extra wit out of Etsuko being there. That's also still a pretty good wit training. And I do like that it does energy preservation for me. It's slightly less friendship progress than some of those other trainings, but it builds my energy up just a little bit more so that my next training can be safe and then I can go into a full rest. It's still a good wit training. It's better than everything else around it. That gets vodka to gold. It pushes Fine Motion's friendship up a bit. That's a perfectly fine time to get a mood down because it's going to get fixed at the end of late September. It's also a fine speed training. Although we should probably take this power training instead because it'll put Kitasan to gold and it has spirit trainings associated with it. Let's go for that. This would be such a good turn to unlock Rico, too. Ah, nevertheless. It's a pretty good speed training, and I wish that I could take it, but we're going to take a full rest instead, and then we're going to be done with our team, so we'll get a mood up. Then we'll name our team. Okay. Back on track for mood. This power training is just the best spirit training option we have available. It builds relevant friendships, so we can go ahead and take that. Power up to level 2. A burst on speed. I do think that's probably where we want to spend our bursts right now. Sure, why not? Building Marvelous Sunday's friendship is also nice. Straight Descent is not a good skill on this CM track. There is one downhill. Oh my god, we get the King Halo stand anyway. We took that out of our deck, right? Yeah, we did. Dude, give me Uma stand anyway. It's just that easy. 12% to fail. That's a little steep for my blood. 9% to fail. That's also a little steep for my blood. But I don't want to take the wit. I think all of these trainings are actually below average. Like, this is okay, and Rico being there is nice, but if I take this training and I see a double rainbow speed next turn, I'm going to be destroyed. So let's take a rest. refill our energy, and then if we need to, we can train/race on these last 3 turns and not even think about it. Oh my god, fast learner's crazy. That's huge. We get 1 spirit training on speed, 1 spirit training on wit, 1 on guts. That's not enough to push Sunday to gold, though. Let's get extra speed out of Etsuko being there. This is a potential G one day. We're getting extra skill points, and none of these trainings look amazing, so I think it's a great time to take off and just go run a race. 5th is a little spooky. I think we might have rushed, because our stamina was a little shaky there. The good news is that we're so high on energy right now, we can gamble anyway, and even hitting -30 is not that bad. And then we can just take a stamina training to ring in the new year. That guts training is probably better on like a spirit training front, but you know you're going to need stamina. Like, you ran out of stamina last time. You did not have enough to finish. Getting Nimble Navigator is relevant, but that's like the only hint Fine Motion can give, but it is also double friendship progress. Oh, that's an interesting training choice. Part of me says you're probably supposed to take the most spirit trainings, so you should probably just keep doing that. Interesting choice there, though. My team should be okay. We're 20 in 1 burst. We have E's on miles, a D on medium. Not really anybody anywhere else. Can I put one of these E's on sprints? Bamboo Memory is sprint A. Why don't you come over here? And then I'll come over here. I will be the dirt ace. And then we have E on sprint, E on mile, D on medium, and us on dirt, who should be okay. Is that good enough to take top? 20 and 1? Yeah, it's probably good enough to take top. I think anything over like 16 to 18 is pretty good. Yeah, okay. Good. That's just giving us flexibility for later if we don't see good Unity Cup trainings. So far, so good. We did miss the Rico unlock, which is a little annoying, but it's not that bad. Ideally, we see her before like summer break year 2, otherwise we're going to be pretty sad. Good win. Kyoto Racecourse is not useful to us. The CM track is Tokyo. And then back into training we go. Single rainbow speed. Nothing else going on literally anywhere. I don't think this is good enough at this point in the game. We're still trying to build spirit trainings, and just taking a naked rainbow on speed that doesn't do anything else but make it so that we're forced to rest next turn, I don't think is very good. So let's take a full rest. Plus 50 is perfect. 1 spirit training, 1 spirit training, 2 spirit trainings, and it also works on Toast and Jordan's friendship. I am perfectly okay with that. Would I like to have 10 speed or 10 stamina? 10 stamina, obviously. Let's get that. 1 spirit training, but it also gets Toast and Jordan to gold, and there's energy discount from Rico being there. We take that power. Plus 12 stam, plus 12 guts, very good. A triple rainbow training this early is a little unfortunate, but plus 47 speed, plus 23 power is nothing to sneeze at. Let's take that. And then get an extra 2 speed out of it as well. Here's our Rico unlock. Okay. We're on target for that. This is last training before our inheritance. 1, 1, 1, and 2 with Etsuko being there that puts Tosin Jordan to burst. I like that with training a lot. Otherwise, I would have taken that Marvelous Sunday training to get her to gold. But I think this is better. Show me hints for things that I want to buy. Unity Cup Spark, good. Dirt Spark, good. Good. Dirt S is a big deal. Also, a burst on speed is quite nice that also builds Sunday's friendship. It goes without saying we're not doing the Oka show today. All of these trainings are very good. A burst on stamina is something we're going to have to do at some point in this run, but this is a much better speed training. So let's take that. We really need to burst on speed with, or stamina with priority here, though. I can't do that. I cannot take that speed training, as nice as it would be to build those friendships. I don't really want to take that whip burst. I think I would rather Rico this turn. Let's Rico and see if we can get Tosin Jordan to show up on stamina on one of these 2 days. That would be my ideal. Good. Good, good, good. Single rainbow speed, but it does everything else that we want? Yeah, man. Absolutely. We might even get a good vodka hint out of this. Raidaway recovery? Ah, never mind. So this might also be a Rico turn. Never mind. Well, oh god. Oh, man. Okay, so here's the deal. This is statistically a better training than we're likely to get during summer break. Even though summer break is going to level our facilities to 5, our odds of hitting a double or triple rainbow in summer break aren't that high. So we might just want to take this now, especially because it consumes a burst going into the Unity Cup round. And then just take our first turn off in summer break to rest, and then hit Wit 1 time. But I think that's too good of a training to pass up on. We're going to come out of Classic Year with over 600 speed, which is a huge difference to the last run. Honestly, it doesn't even matter, because we're going to rest on the first turn of summer break anyway. It is an event that does nothing at all except costs us 5 wit. Good. We need to schedule a few extra races here. We need a few sources of skill points. So I think that's probably going to look like... Oh, I can't do it in Unity Cup, you son of a... These across the board, everybody's aptitude A. We're S on dirt, which means that we are going to be the dirt runner from now on. How are we looking on bursts? 27 Unity Trainings, 3 Spirit Bursts. That should be good enough for the second round. If it was 30 and 3, I'd feel even better. But 27 and 3 I think is alright. It is alright, but just barely. It's a little spooky. But the longer we can keep taking top and winning, the more flexibility we have for the last round. And then this is a rest. It doesn't matter what the trainings are, it's a rest. We don't even want to burst on stamina anyway. All of these trainings are pretty bad. We would take this speed training if we were at full energy, but that's about it. Let's fix our mood. Let's get 40 energy back. Let's take a double speed. Oh. Oh, it's not as good. I don't want to gamble on a 16% with how good this run has been so far. We also have to think about what we're doing on our last turn. Let's take a whip, put Kitas to burst, and then take a safe training next turn. That's honestly perfect. because Rika's there for failure protection. It could not go better. Incredible summer break. When I said we were going to be 600 power coming out of, or 600 speed coming out of Classic Year, what I meant is we're going to be 600 speed coming out of Summer Break. So Sprinter Stakes, JVC Sprint, Hanshin Cup. We would like to do all of those. This is a good wit training. I do want to keep working on fine motion. But also, I think you really need to think about allocating burst to stamina here, and also your energy's critically low. Like, even if you take this wit training, your next training is still not in good shape. Let's do a Rico here, even though it's only going to put us to like half energy, just because I want to be making progress through her events. Also, if we had slow metabolism, we would be so excited to take that event. None of those trainings are better than the Sprinter Stakes, I think. So let's go get a G1 out of the way. Good. That's skill points. That's also unique threshold level 1. -5 is perfect to hit there. A burst on wit. I still don't want to burst on wit. But I like this burst more, because it makes our next training safe. We could also just Rico this turn to go to 3, but I don't feel super pressured to do that, and we have an extra burst lurking that could wind up on stamina, so let's take this wit training. It also slowly builds Taishin up. Prepared to pass is a great hint. Straightaway recovery is not a great hint. We don't care about that. We do care about a hint for mile corners, though. Oh, yeah. We don't need that. This is an okay stamina training. It puts fine motion to burst, and it has 3 spirit trainings on it, which is going to help us level facilities. You know, I don't hate that training. I think our speed is okay. We're still going to need to train speed, obviously, but our stamina is a bigger problem than our speed right now. And then as far as these last few turns go, I think we run the JBC Sprint. We gamble on... Okay, so let's walk through the plan. We run JBC Sprint, we run Mile Championship, our energy is going to be like here. We Rico early December, and then we run Hanshin Cup. If that is the plan, and we know we're going to Rico early December, we can gamble on the top option. Because if we hit mood -1, then we just fix it with Rico, and if we hit stam +5, power +10, that's great, and we love that. That's great, and we love that. It's a good wit, though. No, you need to spend your bursts on stamina. You're at 2... Okay, this is an ace run for Aquarius CM. You would like to get to 600 stamina. You're almost done with Classic Year, you're at 244. Where is your stamina coming from right now? You can't sit here and just take good trainings and be like, whoa, it's a good training when your stamina is catastrophically low. Take a Rico. Fix your energy. It's more important than the race. Look for a burst early December and then run Hanshin Cup late December. Or, if the early December trainings aren't good, run the dirt mile race that's early December and then train late December. You have prepared to pass as a hint already. You got it from a burst, so you can take 10 power, 15 skill points. Refocus yourself, because this run has been really good, and if you wind up at like 475 stamina at the end of it, you're going to be really upset with yourself. Like, really, really upset with yourself. Okay, I'm centered. I'm aligned. I've refocused myself on what really matters. You can't. This is not your priority right now. Take wit to manage your energy. It builds fine motions, friendship. You need to get fine motion to gold here. I really don't want to skip the Hanshin Cup. I really would like skill points. Please do not show me like a double burst on stamina. It's not good. Okay, thank God. None of these trainings are good. We can race. Oh, phew. That was close. Doesn't matter what we gamble. Next turn is energy recovery. Would have liked to see plus stamina there, but it's okay. Team is looking pretty good. I don't really know what Toast and Jordan is doing on longs on rice showers right here, so maybe we can make that swap. You have 464 stamina. Toast and Jordan has 388. Yeah, that's the way that's supposed to be. Head into race. How are you looking on your trajectory? You're 39-4. This feels like a weak team for round 3. So let's take our middle option. We've bought ourselves this insurance, so that if we feel like we haven't been bursting, we can take a middle option. And now we can just take top option late June senior year and cross our fingers that it's not Turf Queens. We will be taking 30 energy. Show me a big burst on stamina. No. Wrong. It's all bad. I can't use 2 bursts on speed. That's not my priority right now. You can't do this. You should not do this. You should click off of this training. But like, what else are you gonna do? These are all bad. You gonna Etsuko and then just waste your raffle? You could race today. You know what? You could run a G2. You could run a G3. I really don't like this. I don't like this. Not liking this. You should not be doing this. But you're telling yourself that you can find other bursts later on and you can get them into stamina somehow. So I'm gonna choose to believe you. But if there is a run, if there's a turn that we made a mistake on, it was that turn. This is just good for energy management, but we're not ready to pivot off of prioritizing spirit training yet. And your stamina does have 2 spirit trainings on it with Etsuko there for extra stamina out of it. So I think we take it. You can still train next turn. Single rainbow speed, we're not doing that. 3 spirit trainings on wit is very good. Fine motion to gold is also good, but I don't like what it does to my energy, so I think we take wit here. Rico gives us extra stamina for just being around, which is also nice. Double rainbow speed, I think you're basically forced to take. Although there's so many good spirit training options here, but you can't turn down a double rainbow. This also puts bamboo memory to burst, which is potential stamina. You should also keep an eye out for G1s that you want to run. Like here, maybe here. And probably just those 2 for now. 1 spirit training, 1, 2, 1. This looks like a great Rico turn. Just spin our wheels on getting energy back and progressing Rico's chain. It's not a burst on stamina. It is 2 spirit trainings on stamina, though. With supports there. This is fine motion to gold, though. No, you need stamina right now. Put Haru to burst, and then you have a second burst online that you could potentially spend on stamina. Frontrunner straights we don't need. Gold inspiration. Are we gonna get Mile S2? Tenno Show Autumn, Straight Descent, JVC Classic, 80 power, 2 hints for Victoria por Plancha. So we know that's not going to get cheaper. We can go ahead and buy that now. Save that. No burst on stamina. Single rainbow. Single rainbow. We're in energy preservation mode right now, so let's take the rainbow on wit. It's not a bad enough turn that we can't, like, just punt on wit. We'll take 10 energy out of this. It's okay if that event chain doesn't finish. I can't burst on speed. It can't be done. This actually looks like an okay stamina training. It puts bamboo memory to burst. And it's also just the best spirit training option we have available outside of speed, which we're not going to burst on. So I think we're okay taking stamina here. We need to be at least 550 by the end of the run and up to 600. Speed stars, great. Single rainbow wit, single rainbow speed. Energy kinda low right now, though. We should probably rest this turn. We have a lot of skills we want to buy, though. We're at 707 right now. If we buy a speed star, it's on no stopping me. That's basically all of our skill points gone. Without thinking about anything else we might want to get, like curvature. No, I think you need to rest this turn, because if you see bursts on stamina in late May, you are almost forced to take them. And I don't want to have to do that at like 20 energy. No. So this does give us 14 stamina, and it puts Taishin to burst. And I want to burst before we get to Zenith. I'm okay with spending there. Rinse rates? I don't care. We don't need that. 350 stamina, man. We gotta find a way around that. If I was at 450 right now, I'd be so happy. Rainy Days is not relevant for the CM. We would really like this to be a double rainbow whip. No. And I don't want to go that deep on energy right now, even though it does put digital to burst, which is nice. I think this needs to be our last Rico turn, just as the best way that we can spend our energy and spend a turn before summer break starts. And then, awkwardly, if we see bursts on stamina in summer break, we don't want to spend them, because it's not energy efficient to burst in summer break. So we're in a little bit of a tight... Oh god, we have to be Turf Queens to get to... Oh, Jesus. We're at 53 and 7. I don't think there's any way we win that. Let's take the safe option. We're going to lose out on a couple stats here, but I don't think our run is good enough to beat Turf Queens. We'll just take the guaranteed. I think it's like plus 30 instead of plus 50 against Zenith at the end of the day. And that's fine. I mean, last time we beat Zenith at like rank 11, so it doesn't really matter. 3 spirit trainings, 2 spirit trainings, 2 spirit trainings, 1 spirit training that preserves energy. This is plus 11 stamina, though. But this puts digital to burst. This has more supports at it. You need stamina. It doesn't matter how good your speed is if your stamina is not at 550. You can't consume that burst because it wastes so much energy. You don't mind taking this double rainbow speed, I guess, though. And you don't want to spend a burst on wit. So take this. And that's fine. You don't want to burst on speed. You don't really want to take an 8% failure on power. This might just be a rest. Single rainbow, single rainbow. 2 spirit trainings, fine motion to gold, 22 stamina. It's good enough. It's good enough to take. Not an amazing summer break. But now we can burst on stamina like there's no tomorrow. This is such a sad speed to pass up on, though. How risky do you want to get? This is going to put you at 430 stamina. End of career will get you to like 525. You can burst on stamina later. I think you need 2 bursts on stamina to get to your threshold by the end of the career, which means you can take a speed that's this good and just cross your fingers that you see bursts on stamina later. Also, keep an eye out for Rico, because any Rico training that you take is also +3 stamina. Also, keep an eye out for Etsuko on stamina, because that's also like an extra 3 stamina. This is probably going to be a rest, though, unless we get a double rainbow on Wit. I'll take 10 energy, please. Training. But Etsuko is here, so we're getting stamina out of that. And now we rest late October. Look at the options first to see what you're missing out on. Single rainbow Wit, Etsuko on stamina, yeah, rest here. +70 is big. Stop, though. Etsuko's here, she could give you stamina. Or, Riko's there. Etsuko's here, though, and will definitely give you stamina. What if you bought a recovery? Things that a desperate man would say. What if you bought a recovery skill for a mile CM? You could. You have straightaway recovery. It's not good. Oh man. Let's see where this road goes. Riko no longer wants to give us stamina off of her trainings. He hates us. If we see 1 double burst on stamina, we're so back. We're instantly back in contention for this being a good run. That's all it takes. That's also pretty good recovery. Well, there's the burst on stamina that you wanted. You don't really have a reason to not take it now. So let's grab that. And then this has to be a rest. There's your It's On hints. Passing up a double rainbow speed. But you have to rest this turn if you really want to maximize your final 3 turns. Let's see how we do against Zenith. If I didn't see No Stopping Me, that would be okay, because I am bereft of skill points right now. I think I raced like 3 fewer races than I would have liked to. So that's not an ideal position to be in. Okay. We're still gonna have the option to buy No Stopping Me then. +9 to everything is very helpful. What's the 4? First on Wit, I can't afford to. Train on Power for 11 stamina versus 19 stamina to train on Stam directly, but you get a burst out of Curran. There's a world where this works. There's a world where this works out. We take like a double rainbow Wit next turn. And then the turn after that, we take 2 bursts on stamina, and we're right back in there. Or we just rely on a recovery, which I really don't like doing. A burst on Wit, but it puts King Halo to burst. You would be all in on your final turn being amazing at that point. Yeah, you would be. So let's see if it is. Acceleration, not something we're going to be buying. wit to 5. Good. This is also an undefeated Taiki, except for 5th in the Hanshin JF or whatever. That fact is not lost on me. So you're going to be at like 525. No, you're going to be at like 550. I think we actually made it. Should we have made it? No, probably not. And does it suck that we're passing up on 2 bursts? We would have capped speed if we had gotten 2 bursts to show up on this training. I think we just take that and we buy, I think, ooh, Winter Runner's good too. Holy cow. We're gonna have some hard decisions to make for buying skills on this run. Wow, 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 wow. Wait, did we get curvature? I don't think we got curvature again. That's probably fine, honestly. I don't think we would have been able to buy it regardless. +3 off of Etsuko. +10 for winning the finals. +25 stam off of Rico. +5 for clearing career. How did we do? 1179, 547. She is right on the edge of having enough stamina. I think we need to buy one insanely cheap recovery. Like, just straightaway recovery and not even breath of fresh air. And then it's on. No stopping me. We did not get curvature. We didn't even get corner adept. Speed star. Mile Maven, I don't think early race velocity is when we want it. I think mid race and late race velocity is when we want it. So that would be changing gears, but it's really expensive. Umastan. We can afford Winter Runner here. We can afford changing gears. And then we can take mile corners. And I think that's it. Leaving 62 skill points on the table feels really bad. We can do this. Straightaway recovery is less reliable than stamina to spare is, because it can trigger too early or too late. Stamina to spare will guarantee that we get the stamina back when we need it, and it also doesn't make a difference in how we spend our skill points. So it looks something like this. This is a better Taiki. I think it's a better Taiki by a fairly significant margin. The game agrees. 1 guts, 2 sprint, that's fine. This wasn't intended to be a parent run. That's our best Taiki of all time by a fairly wide margin. It's a new scenario record by a fairly wide margin. You are the new CM Ace candidate. That is potentially pretty good. And we're going to be using a very similar template for making El Condor Pasa as well. Given that El's unique really only works when she's in the front 2, I think we're probably going to run double pace and then single late surger for the CM comp, with Haru being the late surger. But that is at least one Taiki done that looks pretty scary. Probably good enough to get into B finals. But we'll see when the rounds start up in like a few days. We get 225 carats, 225 club points from our club point rating. Not bad considering it's just us doing 1 run per day. It's like 300 carats for free, but I'm sure your club income was much better. And then let's go get our Dober daily races done. Let's see how good she is at a 1600 meter mile when she doesn't have the career bonuses active. This isn't exactly the same track as the CM, but it is a very similar track as the CM. So we'll see how she does. As far as the CM is concerned, though, she's at what, like a 1050 power in Dirt S? I think that's really good. I think that is good enough for her to survive the uphill. Stamina to spare is nice. I'll be curious to see if she procs Nimble Navigator here. Nice, it's on. Be a little careful of pace down here. Pace down should be over now, so it doesn't really matter. She's not going to trigger unique here because she's too far ahead. She needs to be third or worse. Second is obviously better than third or worse. I think that speed star might have been just a fraction of a second too late. It's an extremely fast moving Dober, but I think we're faster. Yeah, we're faster. Alright, so it looks like she survives. She's pretty good. She's pretty good. It would be nicer if she was at 600 stamina, but considering we only did 2 runs, I'm comfortable with her as an ace. Also, that 3-speed deck configuration was so much better. Just significantly better. Give me a few star pieces. Choose Hanshin JF. I don't need either of those. Let's go do our last daily race. Great mood. We should be just fine. Okay. There's a part of me that wonders if this Taiki isn't a better Team Trials runner than our current Taiki. We'll have to double check. Let's go take a peek at that. Because not a lot of our dirt runners are all that inspiring. So you're 11,6,936 with 3 golds. The new Taiki is 11,5,10,4,5 Dirt S with 4 golds. I think this is a better Taiki. I think you're in. That puts us back to A1, but that's just because this Taiki has a higher rating. Rating does not necessarily mean it's a better runner, it just means it's got a higher number. What will really tell us is how she does in points here. She won, which is a pretty... She won on an 1800, which is a pretty good sign. She was 4th most points. That's also a pretty good sign. Medium Agnes not looking great. The long winning ticket not looking great. Long special week not looking great. We kind of knew that though. Show me another round. 5th that time. And 2nd worst in points. What happened to you? Did you rush? Didn't rush. Only activated 1 rare skill and only 2 skills. So she failed a million wit checks, basically. She does only have 580 wit, so it's not like they're guaranteed. But a lot of those gold skills do not have, like, significant conditions associated with them. Came in 3rd. but I see her in the top half of score. P1. I think that's a good Team Trials runner. Fifth most points. All of our mile runners down here are just busted, but we knew that already. And then this is the last Team Trials run that we do before reset. So let's pop a parfait for it. And see how we do. We'll get everybody to great mood and we'll try to do one big high roll. Not looking amazing. No high roll. Alright, so we're gonna head back down to Class 5 next week then. But that's okay. That's about my expectation. I think it might have been a little optimistic to hope for Class 6 retention. I'll take a look at what the retention threshold is right now as well. 609 and we made it to 547. Yeah, we're not quite there yet. I think we're gonna be there before too long, but we're not quite there yet. Oh, and daily races. Let's go get some coins out of this as well. This Taiki should be good enough to run a 1600. She is. And then we'll get our last daily shop, and then we'll pack it up. I would say that's been a fairly successful first day of Aquarius prep. I did leave it a little late this time, which was not my intention, but I think we're going to do all right for ourselves, even if the other two ace runs work out, or even if the other two ace runs don't work out, just off the back of that Taiki having gotten a fairly lucky roll. And who knows, the L might manage to do exactly the same thing. So we'll claim all of our stuff. It's another 350 carats in our pocket. And then another 75 carats in our pocket. And then that's going to wrap it up for today. So if you're enjoying Uma, do make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Lets me know that there are people out there who find it interesting and want to keep watching it. And if you have any questions about our Aquarius prep or just the game in general, feel free to drop me a line in the comments and let me know. I will see you guys around tomorrow for some El Condor Pasa ace runs, and then we will work on Haru on Tuesday. But until then, I'll see you next time. Enjoy what's left of your weekend, and have a good rest of your day.